Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, and of course, the title of the video, this is, as I'm recording this, it is Brownlow night. So I'm going to give you my, very, very, very late, Brownlow predictions, and who I think are the favourites, who the favourites are. Now, before I start talking about the elephant in the room, I'm going to mention my apologies for not filming and not uploading any videos the last few weeks. I did have a bit of issues with a bit of technical issues, but I think they're sorted now. So I just didn't, and also with me flat out with working over the last couple of weeks, I've just not had any time because being tired and that and making videos and that. So but with this week's grand final week, of course being free, me working 3 days, and of course with the Queen's morning, and of course grand final week. Hopefully I can upload more this week. So, so now let's get into the big one. Who's going to take home the Charlie? Who's going to take home the Charles Brownlow medal this year in 2022? So I think for me there is 5 clear favourites. There's probably more, but I think that these 5 are clearly going to be up there all night. In terms of the count, and that is Neale, Patrick Cripps, Andrew Brayshaw, Took Miller, and of course Clayton Oliver. Yes, there could be the chance. Yes, what you say? What about Petrarca? What about Laird? What about Walsh? What about the others? I don't think they're in it. To be fair, well, I think Petrarca will be in it because obviously he displayed. Of course, his form was fantastic in the first half of the season, but I think his form in the second half, I don't think will be enough for him to probably be up there contender, let alone win it. So I'll run you through the favourites first and their seasons, and then I'll give you my predictions on who's going to win it. So first off, let's talk about Neale. Obviously, of course, Brisbane this week, they got knocked out in the preliminary final by Geelong. And I'll talk about that in a fair bit when I review the preliminary finals in a video soon. So looking at his statistics, I think he's had a fantastic season. He's averaged 30 possessions. His clearance work has been outstanding this year. He's the second best in contested possessions. Obviously, he's had in the AFL he's averaged 16 contested possessions this year. He's had another very good season. It's a bit 50-50 whether this season's been better than his 2020 Brownlow medal winning year. I'm still a bit jury's out about that one, because obviously that one was a season where basically it was a shortened season and it had shortened games. Adjusting camera. And then of course the Brownlow predictor, obviously, if you guys go on AFL.com, they actually have a bit of a Brownlow predictor on how many votes a player is going to get. Not exactly what it's going to what exactly like. It's not, even though in this game the player's going to get that amount of votes and that. It's not. It doesn't mean it's not going to be real. So according to the Brownlow predictor, Neale's will get free We'll get 5 free voters. You'll get then you'll get 4 2 voters, 3 1 voters, and then there'll be 10 other games where it doesn't poll, with a total of 26 votes. Yeah. Now I want to keep the sort of betting out of it because I know there will be kids that will be watching this, and I don't think it's a good idea to do that. So this time, unlike I think it was the whole finals preview video that I did, where I did mention a bit about the betting, about the odds. I'm going to keep that out of it because kids are watching this. So I'm just gonna keep that out of it. So the games that he's now his season as a whole, obviously there's going to be like 8 to 9 games where he's a lock expected to poll votes, and then all the others that they're just like probably not going to vote. He possibly could vote, and then basically there's others where no, there's little chance that he might vote, so might poll a vote in a game. So round one, 31 against Port Adelaide, 31 possessions and 7 clearances. He could poll 3 votes in that one. His first definite 3 votes will be the following game against Destiny. 41 touches, 12 clearances, and 2 goals. That if he doesn't poll 3 votes in that game, I'll be absolutely be astounded if he doesn't. I'm not going to go through all of these because otherwise through all the games through all these 5 players, because otherwise this video would take an hour. So then there's round 5 against Collingwood, where he had 33 possessions and a goal. There is a chance he will poll against Sydney in round 7, but of course Buddy kicked 6, so he's probably expecting to get the votes in that one. What other games are there? Of course, round 11 against GWS. That's probably he'll poll 3 votes there as well, with 39, where he got 39 touches and 9 clearances and 2 goals. And then there's the games like round 19 against Gold Coast, where he got 32 possessions and 9 clearances, but Took Miller did win the Ashcroft medal for best on ground in the Q clash with 31 to 34 touches, and we'll talk about Took in a minute, in a bit later. And then there's obviously others as well. The others that he's probably expected he's probably possible to poll, a bit 50-50. I mean, the third round against the North Melbourne, obviously 27 touches and 5 clearances. Not his best in terms of statistics, but still pretty good nonetheless. I mean, those sort of games that he's been okay, that he'll be okay. That will be big for these 5 that did go okay, but somehow do poll. That will be massive for any of them. Looking at this here. I mean, against St Kilda around 37 disposals, but Hugh McCluggage and Jared Lyons did perform better than him. And then of course against Richmond in that loss when they were up by by 42 points at some stage in the first quarter, and they ended up losing the game. 31 disposals and 8 clearances in that one. So as I said, I'm not going to go through all of them because I don't want this to go for a very long for 2 hours. So yeah. And then the ones that is probably not expected to poll at all. I'm going to exclude the bye because obviously I don't know why it added in the byes pretty much. I mean, games like round 15 against Melbourne, where he was well held, he got held to 22 touches. The round 17 loss against Essendon, when he was only restricted to 21. The round 22 win against St Kilda, when he was only held to just the 16 touches for the whole game. And then round 23, where it could, if it does come down to Neale and Oliver, then that could decide who wins the Brownlow in the end, because he did gather 29 touches, but of course Oliver, but that was in a massive 10-goal loss to Melbourne. So those ones there, I think for me. I think Neale. I think he's more of a favourite than what everyone else thinks, and I'll get to my predictions in a bit. But yeah, and also to mention, I should have said this at the start. I was going to do my own Brownlow predictor, but I probably may have started it a bit too late. So. And by the time I started it, pretty much it would probably already be Brownlow night anyways. By the time I'm halfway through it, so I'll do it next year. I'll do my own Brownlow predictor next year and use that information to use that. Use that information, more information to see who I think will win the Brownlow. Next up is Patrick Cripps. Is the next one on the list. I mean, yeah. In the start of the season, he started like a house on fire especially the first 3 games. I won't be surprised if he's 9 votes from the first 3 rounds. He was astounding. I mean, games like against Richmond, we have a lazy 30 disposals, 8 clearances and 3 goals, and then round 2 against the Bulldogs, where he had 35 touches, 11 clearances and 2 goals. Which is unbelievable. So note in the first, and then against Hawthorn, he had 33 touches. 31 touches. 11 tackles and a goal. So basically, he over those 3 weeks, I have to do some quick maths here. That is not. That would be not. He had 96 disposals and kicked 6 goals in those 3 games. If you look up the saying starting like a house on fire, you'll find a picture of Patrick Cripps in it for sure in that one. And then he sort of tailed away a little bit, and then I'm sure, and then for sure. And then 2 out of the last 4 games, obviously I think he'll poll. Obviously, especially the round 23, where he tried so hard to win Carlton that game against Collingwood with 35 touches and 12 clearances, but it was clearly not enough. As they slide out of the finals contention, which I'm still laughing a bit about, chuckling a bit about. Sorry to Carlton supporters. Not really. So to the statistics, So of course, over the whole season, of course, Cripps, same too with Neale, high up there in the contested possessions. Obviously, he averaged 15, just under 15.5 contested possessions a game. He was third in the AFL for clearances, 7.7 a game. He averaged just over 28 touches a game also, but he was also a bit average in the kicks. He's more, by the looks of things, he's more of a handball type of player. And then the meters gained, not really his thing. And then obviously down a bit, averaging 6.7 scoring involvements per game. So in the Brownlow predictor, there was of course free. According to the Brownlow predictor, he'll poll free vote 6 times. Obviously, 3 of them are going to be in the first 3 rounds. Obviously, and then obviously the 4th one will probably be maybe the round 23 game against Collingwood. That's 4 locks for 3 votes right there. It's gonna there'll be 4 times where he polls 2 votes. No one voters at all, just the 3 and the 2s for Cripper. And there's going to be 12 games where he doesn't poll at all, with a total of 26 votes according to the AFL.com Brownlow predictor. So yeah, and I think he still might be up there. He still might be up there, but I think he'll be up there. I can see him be more in contention than Petrarca, to be honest, because even though them two have been similar, starting like a house on fire and then starting well and then not tailing off in the mid part of the season and coming home strong late. I think Cripps had a better second half of the season than Petrarca to really challenge for the medal this year. So yeah, and it's a great return to form because he wasn't as good as he was when in 2021. Struggling, apparently with injury problems, apparently, and all that. So yeah, so he'll probably be high up there again in the Brownlow with Patrick Cripps for sure. In terms of how many games he will poll. Next up is of course we all know Fremantle. They had a fantastic season. I know after the loss last week in the semi-final, Justin Longmuir said, "Nah, this has been a good season. It's not a great season." I disagree with him. It's been a great season for them. I mean, the rise since Justin Longmuir has been in charge has been astounding, and it's all boiled down. And one of the leaders in that is, of course, is another Brownlow favourite this year in Andrew Brayshaw, who is tipped to be Freo's next captain after when Nat Fyfe either retires or relinquishes the captaincy. Which I think for me, I think it'll happen. I think it won't be too far away that Andy Brayshaw will be a Fremantle captain for sure. So obviously, I mean, he obviously is going to poll so many votes early. I assume he'll poll 6 votes over 2 games. I mean, 28 touches and 8 clearances against Adelaide in round 1, and then 40 touches and a goal against St Kilda in round 2. So he'll probably get the 3 votes in round 2. Maybe get maximum maybe 3 or 2 in round 1. So you'll either end with 5 votes or 6 votes after the first 2 games of the season. Yeah, and then there's other games as well where you will get 3 votes in, like for example the round 8 game against North Melbourne. You have a lazy 34 touches, 10 clearances, 10 inside 50s. The game against Hawthorn where he had 37 touches and a goal. And and then the round 17 game, and then the round 17 game against St Kilda, against St Kilda, the other game that the Dockers played against the Saints, where he got 36 touches, 10 tackles and a goal, as well. So those ones are going to be again, probably he'll poll him, but there will be as well. And then basically he's actually been an interesting one. It's not like he's probably around the middle where he's been good all year, but he hasn't been like great because of but probably not great because of like he has gone another level this year, but not in ways where, of course, no one's gonna be that consistent where they poll every single game. But it's been sort of a difficult one where he's been in good form, but really not great, but not high up there. So. But I still think that he'll be up there for the Brownlow for sure. I think it's a bit hard to gauge really on where it was a bit hard to gauge really on where do I think he would go. Of course, statistically, he averaged under 29 and a half touches a game. 20, and really, according to the statistics, he's really not been that great really. I mean, he's been elite in terms of touches and kicks really, and of course, and average everywhere else, to be honest. But yeah, I think he's probably a player where statistics are probably not best suited for how good of a season he has been. To the Brownlow predictor, to the AFL.com Brownlow predictor, it's expecting him to poll 3 votes 6 times, 2 votes 4 times, 1 vote 2 times, and then 10 times, and then 10 games where he doesn't vote, with a total of 28 votes. So I think he he is highly up there, and I think that I think Andy Brayshaw, as I've said so many times, I'm going to say it again, he's a bit hard to gauge on where out of the favourites I think he'll be placed, but I'm confident in where I'll go, or I'll put him in the predictor, which I think that which I'll tell you a bit later. The next player is Took Miller from the Gold Coast Suns. I think he's more of a favourite than everyone else thinks. I think he'll be an underrated one. I think he'll be one that flies under the radar this year. I could see him shockingly win the Brownlow than all the others that aren't in my 5 that are favourites to win that are in contention to win the Brownlow. Because I mean he's had a great season. I mean he's averaged 28 and a half touches. He's averaged just over 15 contested possessions a game, 17 kicks per game. He's ranked second for clearances. For clearances. I would assume behind the next person we're going to be talking about, which is Clayton Oliver. In clearances with a tick under 8 clearances per game. He's averaged 521 meters gained per game. But the only thing he's been good at, but not like the other statistics, is of course the score involvements. He's averaging only 5.7 score involvements per game. In terms of the the standout games that he played. Obviously, the first standout game that he played was the round 7 game against Collingwood, where he had 36 touches, 10 clearances, and 2 goals. And then the shock win against Fremantle, in that upset win, he had 34 touches and 10 clearances. The others as well. The round 19 game against Brisbane, where he had 34 touches, 7 tackles. Then he's easily going to pull the free votes in the West Coast game in round 20, 31 touches, a lazy 15 clearances and 10 tackles. So that will be where he's expected. He's out of all five of the favourites I've got here. He's got the least number of expected rounds to be voted. I think he's only expected to poll in 5 games. And I assume all of them are contention for the free votes. According to the Brownlow predictor, Took Miller will be the winner. He's got 30 votes with 5 free voters, 7 2 voters, and only 1 voter. With only 9 games, he's not expected to poll. So I think so. At the end of the day, I think Miller will fly under the radar. I don't think that he's had a good enough season that he could steal it. But I think he'll give himself a good chance at it. I think and really prove to the AFL that he is really it should be up there amongst the elite players in the competition, which he has been underrated a bit. But I've got this theory, obviously, that because he's a part of the Gold Coast Suns, that's why he's underrated. If he was a part of a Melbourne team, then we'd be talking about it, we'd waxing lyrical about him week after week after week. But since he's at the Gold Coast Suns, and the Gold Coast Suns, obviously, except this year, where they've been good, but that he's now. As I said, now that the Suns are good, that everyone's talking about him. So about favourites, him being one of the favourites for the Brownlow and that. So yeah. Speaking about favourites, the main person that everyone's been talking about to win the Brownlow medal, as everyone's had all year, everyone's been saying, "Oh, this guy's going to win the Brownlow. This guy's going to win the Brownlow." That is Clayton Oliver. Which, not surprisingly, considering the statistics, he's not surprising. He's rated second for disposals, averaging over 32 and a half disposals a game. He's the best in contested possessions with 17.8. He's the best at clearances with 8.7. The next best, as I said, was Took Miller with 7.9 clearances a game. That's how good he is. And in others, of course, meters gained, he's in the top 20. So too is score involvements. He's just outside the top 30 in terms of kicks with 15 touches a game. I think he's one of the few ways away statistically, he's elite in every single main one on the board in terms of the midfielders, which is, of course, disposals, contested possessions, kicks, etc., like the ones that I've just said. More important for a midfielder. So he's elite in all 6 of those of what I said. So that's rare for that. Well, not rare these days, but yeah. So in terms of the Brownlow predictor, he's predicted to have five free voters, 5 2 voters and 2 1 voters, with 10 times where he doesn't poll at all, and with a total of 27 votes. So then the outstanding games where he's expected to poll probably 3 votes. I mean, there's the round 2 game where he had 34 disposals, 13 clearances and a goal. The round 3 game against Essendon where he had 38 disposals, 8 clearances and 15 inside 50s. That's right, 15 inside 50s. The round 6 game against Richmond in the Anzac Eve game where he won the Checker Hughes medal, where he racked up 41 touches and 3 goals. The games like round 2 against Gold Coast, the round 3 game against Collingwood, and round 6 against Richmond, round 8 against St Kilda, and round 10 against North Melbourne. Those 5 games are all part of that. A part of that period of the season when Melbourne we all thought we were just invincible, and when they won their first 10 games of the season. And then afterwards, and then from round 11 onwards, he's only expecting to guarantee poll in only 4 games. In that period where they shockingly lost to Fremantle to, of course, round 23, where obviously I think he's probably going to get the maximum votes in that one, which could be enough for him to get it to be the Brownlow medalist. But here's the problem. My only problem is with Clayton Oliver. Is Petrarca's going to be up there too. The only problem is with both Oliver and Cripps, and this is why I've left this for last instead of staying straight away with Cripps, is they're gonna have players that will take votes off them. Cripper, for example, with Walsh, Oliver with Petrarca, Viney, maybe Gawn, possibly maybe, might take votes off them. And then others as well, like Took Miller, maybe Anderson, Rao, and Rankin, maybe take votes off them, but not much. Brayshaw, Sarong, Fife, all those guys, but not much also. And then of course Lockie, Neale, probably Lyons and McCluggage. So each one of these 5 players could have players that take them off them, but Oliver's probably more affected with, of course, Petrarca and the like. That is my only concern with his credentials as the favourite for the Brownlow, because obviously he is. Because obviously there's going to be players that would take votes off him. So now on to the most important part of the video, which is my prediction. My top 5 predictions on where do I think will they poll. I think will they poll. Who I think will they poll. Actually, I did write down these predictions here, but I think it's going to be different. I've just changed my mind in the last second as I'm thinking this right now. So I think for me, there will be a tie. There will be a tie for 5th between Patrick Cripps and Christian Petrarca. I think there will be a tie. That both will be tied for 5th. I think there will be a tie. Now for 3rd, there will be a tie for 3rd, I think, between Clayton Oliver and Took Miller. I was going to put Miller in the top 3 and maybe put Oliver in 4th, but I think, I don't think it's a bit realistic, so I decided to put both of them as tied for 3rd. 2nd, I think will be Andrew Brayshaw, I think he'll be challenging up there. He'll be up there, but I don't think it'll be enough. So if you've rounded out, that means my prediction to win the 2022 Charles Brownlow medal for the second time is Lachie Neale. I think he has had more outstanding games, and I think he's gonna take Charlie home. I think he's gonna take him home. He might not pull that well and maybe eat my words, but yeah. So I think, as I said, my prediction to win the Brownlow medal will be Lachie Neale and become a 2-time Brownlow medalist. So and be a part of the greats who've won the Charlie twice. So those are my predictions. So like this video, share this to anybody who's an AFL fan. Comment down below. I was gonna say what your predictions are. If you're watching this before the Brownlow, who do you think's gonna win it? If you're watching this after the Brownlow, comment down below. Did you pick the right player who won it? Did you pick Neale as well? Did you pick Brayshaw? Did you pick Oliver? Or did you pick maybe a tie for the Brownlow and got it correct? I'd like to see what you guessed and if they were right. So yeah. And lastly, somewhere down there, I think it's getting a bit old now. Click on the big red button, which is labeled subscribe. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on you.